got a guy like that, that's built like that, the 6'4", that we got to translate and all that.
They got Jordan Davis last season. They bring Fletcher Cox back in the Philly. So I'm sitting there like, we need to put something in this offensive line to combat that. What's going on? Welcome back, everybody. The Cowboys are in training camp. They got the pads on. All systems are a go. We got football from here on out until February, man. We got the Browns and Jets on in the background. Exciting news coming out of training camp, though, man. The running back room seems a little cluttered at the moment, and there's a lot of conflicting reports coming out, man, on who could potentially be the RB2. In my opinion, it's got to be Malik Davis, but I mean, Deuce Vaughn, he's out there making plays.
Deuce.
Dude, that little man, bro, he's got it going on. So, talk to me a bit about this running back room. How you feeling?
Man, I'm excited, man. The more I see it, the more I get the feel that, what I mean, they're gonna do some special things, and especially a guy that you mentioned, Deuce, man. What I mean, I think once the lights come on, I think the whole world about to figure out how special the kid gonna be, man. But just seeing him, what I mean, training and what I mean, making plays, he's getting to the second level so fast. He's making guys miss. Obviously they out there dumping, what I mean, they not really tackling to the ground right now, so it's kind of hard, what I mean, to gauge some of these guys. But I mean, one thing you can see is his speed and his vision out there, man. So I think he's going to be a player. I think the main thing for him is, Mike McCarthy finding a way to get a guy like that involved, man. And what I mean, I don't think it was so much of, what I mean, a guy like that can he do it or not? Obviously we had questions with Turpin last year, and Kellen Moore struggled to do so. But I think Mike McCarthy, he done had guys like Ronald Cobb and smaller guys that he was able to get them involved. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do in his Texas Coast offense. But then, recently Jerry Jones, he brought up Zeke again for some reason. What I mean, talking like, hey, it's a possibility out there, and to see Mike McCarthy kind of shoot that down and say, look, man, I like our guys. We're gonna give our guys a crack at it. He mentioned Rico Dowdle especially, and then we all know what Malik Davis brings to the table. So I think we got some guys. But hey, man, Ronald Jones, listen, that suspension you got, boy, hey. What I mean, you out 2 games. I don't know. I don't really know if they're gonna take some opportunities to give you those reps you need in the preseason when they got younger guys they want to get a look at first, especially knowing that you're gonna be out the first 2 games of the season.
That's what with the Ronald Jones things, man. I know they're going to look into that suspension for the PEDs. Did he take maybe some tainted supplements? That happens from time to time. But at the same time, I really didn't envision him making the final roster because I just think we have better backs on our football team. And if he's going to be an RB3/RB4, he's not playing special teams. So I don't see that happening. I mean, Tony looks good out there, man. Tony seems to be moving well. I like to see that. And we previously mentioned in that Earl Spence interview, he said he was feeling good and he could roll. So that is exciting. With the Zeke thing, man, I think McCarthy's kind of saying what he has to. And I think Jerry's just doing his thing.
So Jerry just talking. He seemed a little irritated by it too. Like, bro, I love that about McCarthy, that he don't take nothing from Jerry. He know Jerry just gonna talk, and I think he got full control over what he wants to do, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, we got some guys out here. I really love Rico Dowdle. I loved him last year. I thought he had a good chance of making a roster. I just think it was a little politics involved with the Zeke situation. But I think now you got a chance to just kind of push all that to the side, and I think the best guys will play. And we got some boys. And to me, I think Deuce got a strong chance to be number 2. And if he's not number 2, I can see him being a strong change of pace back and being on the field a lot. You know what I mean? So we got some boys in that room.
The one thing that I'm still curious about with this backfield, man, is what the snap share is going to look like with Tony Pollard, man. Because I don't want him getting a load like Zeke was getting back in the day. You know what I mean? I need Tony with like 50-60% of the work, because less of Tony is going to be more of Tony.
For sure, and definitely don't wear him down by playoff time.
Exactly.
But yeah, he looks good. He caught a little wheel route for a touchdown today. He had some plays where he showed some juice, had some pop. So I think as the days go on, he look a lot more comfortable, man. So definitely liking what I see as far as that go. The receivers, I think we got some boys there. I know the first week, what I mean, when he came out there, we was like, who is Jalen Moreno Cropper? You know what I mean? He showed out. He's making plays. Tolbert continued to do what he does, you know what I mean? And that has just been consistent right now, which we didn't really expect. He's gaining separation, you know what I mean, and making plays out there. But we all kind of just sat back and was like, who the hell is number 83? You know what I mean? He continues just to make plays. And you know what I mean? Like, who is this guy, Jalen Brooks, man? And you know what I mean? I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him. It looks like Dak trusts him. He kind of reminded me of last year with Dennis Houston. I don't want to put that name out there, but just a guy that Dak seems to keep going to and going to.
Hmm.
And for to be a young guy, I think that's good signs. And you hear Michael Gallup come out and say, look, this is one of the most explosive guys I've ever seen. And they hear that, you know what I mean? We got some guys out there, but you know what I mean? We can make room for a guy like that for sure.
What with that wide receiver room, man? The wide receiver 4 battle right now, I think it's kind of hefty. We're probably going to carry 6 receivers, maybe 7. But you got Simi, Tolbert, Brooks, as you mentioned, Turpin, and Dennis Houston is out there as well. Now, the Dennis Houston thing, I'm not saying Dennis is making the roster, but he is a familiar face for this coaching staff. And I think that does play in his favor. Turpin, they're using a lot more than I expected him to be used, which is exciting. I like Cavante Turpin, especially in the return game. Tolbert, though, we're seeing a lot more Jalen Tolbert this time than we did last year.
For sure. For
And I
sure.
think that shows the progress that he's made.
Yeah, like he's doing it all too. And he's getting strong reps. He's making contested catches. He, like I said, he's getting the separation. So he's doing everything you want to see out of a fourth receiver. You know what I mean? As much as plays as Michael Gallup is making, Tobin is out there doing the same. And honestly, it's kind of to be debated. I think Turpin may be having a better camp than maybe both of those guys, which is kind of crazy right now. You know, what I mean, he's showing up, he's explosive. It looks like they're actually giving him a chance. And that comes back to like I said before, Mike McCarthy, you know what I mean, getting these smaller guys involved. He had a history of Randall Cobb and things of that nature. So I think this year we may see a little bit more Turpin, a lot of Deuce Vaughn getting guys east and west and getting upfield. I think we'll be strong in the Yak area this year. But I like the faces we got, man. I can't wait till the lights come on and just to see who kind of steps above the rest. But it was good seeing Semi return to practice as well, man. He made a handful of plays today.
Working up the wide receiver depth chart to the wide receiver 3 spot, right? How secure is Michael Gallup in that wide receiver 3 spot coming into this offseason, man? Because I do think there's a possibility that if a Jalen Tolbert can make that leap, it makes sense to try to make that move off of a Michael Gallup.
I don't know, man. I mean, Gallup is not that expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got a kind of a nice little thing going on right there. And honestly, he seems more comfortable. He looked like he's returning to form. I say just give it time. We seen him make a play over Stephon Gilmore the other day, one-handed catches. So we kind of seeing that Gallup of old coming back. I think it was more of a mental thing. But I can't see Tolbert supplanting him yet. But I mean, if we having that conversation, then hey, man, that's a good conversation to have, and it just makes for a better wide receiver room altogether because you know we all love competition at the end of the day.
And I'm not trying to get over my skis with that one, but I do think that's kind of what you're looking for here is to, develop your younger guys to see if you can take the spot of those veteran guys. Up to the wide receiver 2 spot, bro. Cooks and Dak are cooking, son, and it looks lovely. And I can't get enough of it right now, man. I'm so excited about this move.
Man, I look between him and Gilmore, man. I don't know what the best acquisition was, man. Like I'm just going back and forth every day. This guy make a play, but it seemed like Cooks is consistently making plays. He's consistently getting past guys. You know what I mean, the separation, but the chemistry. It just seemed like whatever Dak and these guys was doing in that backyard, especially with Cooks, man, getting a veteran guy like that, man. Look, it worked, man. Him and CD is about to feast. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I just can't wait to see it. And what can he do for CD? Just bringing a safety over, bringing some extra guys, extra attention away from him. And if they don't, man, look, whoever CB2 is, they better be careful out there because I think he will put the burners on them and fast and early too.
This is also a Brandon Cooks that's been asked to do a lot everywhere he's been, man. There's
Yeah,
never really been another receiver opposite side of him like a CeeDee Lamb. And I think this creates a great opportunity for him as well.
probably one of the most underrated guys in the league, man. You see how many teams he done went to, and I think you kind of overlook the type of player that he is, and the type of quarterbacks that he's done played with. You know, what I mean,
Right.
he's been with a Brady, he's been with a Drew Brees, and then over there, and you know, what I mean, Houston in the last couple of years or whatever. It kind of just make you look at it and say, man, where has he been? But he's always been who he was, and I think you'll see him kind of resurface, get back to who he was. And boy, if we're gonna talk about CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if it's him or Micah. You know, what I mean, man, I'm not even gonna compare it because we'll get to Micah soon. But CD, man, good God Almighty. You know, what I mean, it
It,
seems like Stephon Gilmore has been able to shut down almost anything, but CD had been burning almost anybody he gets on. I think it doesn't even matter where we want to place him at this year. But next year, we're gonna be singing a different tune as far as top receivers in the league, man. CD, he that dude for real.
I agree completely, man. CD, he looks good to start training camp, and I can't wait to see what he brings this season. Moving on to the offensive line, right? So we've been seeing clips,
Terrible.
man, over at the left tackle spot of Tyron Smith getting blasted by Micah Parsons, right? But my question here is, right? Don't overreact, anybody. Is it Micah being a tryhard? Has Tyron lost a step? Or is Tyron 32 years old and he just don't feel like being at work today?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like Tyron is showing up, right? But Micah this year is at a whole different level. And I think, I mean, he talked about it. He's been kind of saying what he's been saying. He's been walking that walk. I mean, we've seen him train all off season. We've seen him bulk up. He looks bigger, but Jesus, it's just something different, man. And he's taking it to these guys every damn practice. So when he told guys, he said, hey, you gonna sink, you gonna swim. I'm gonna take you to this island. I'm gonna take you to this deep end, and he want to see what guys really gonna bring. So he bringing it to him every day. He's trying to take in that leadership role where what I mean. If you ain't on your A game, he trying to bust everybody ass. And it sucks for a guy like Tyron Smith, a Hall of Famer, to have to deal with a kid like that every day. But I think, I mean, if you look at it, I don't see any clips of anybody else doing it at the time. Right. I just think anybody lines up on Micah right now, or anybody he's across from, he giving him work. When I say work, man, he's in the backfield every damn play, man. And I think Micah, we already know what type of year he's going to have. Maybe we need to put him on ice soon, but I think Mike McCarthy might just got to tell him chill a little bit so we can actually get some reps in. Because Jesus, man, sucks for Tyron though.
On the offensive line, talk to me a bit about what you think is going on over there.
It's too many moving pieces, man, for real, man. And I think it all leads back to Zach Martin. I don't know what's going on with that situation, but hopefully we can get that settled soon so we can kind of get a good look at what this offense can be. Because right now, man, don't matter who they put in there, Farniak, Josh Ball. We don't even talk about Josh Ball. He just needs to go ahead and skip town, man. I don't even know what they're seeing in the kid, man. But, I mean, is it really the offensive line that bad, or is the defensive line really whipping their ass like that? And I just think the defensive line is crazy this year. The beef that we got, the depth. So it's going to look like that. But I think, consistently, man, Terrence still, I like what I'm seeing out of him. He might be the only thing. Tyler Biadasz, having his battles. I haven't seen too much of him. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And then, but I think the right guard spot as a whole, Micah doing Micah things, and it's hard to get reps in right now when they get whooped like that.
For me, man, I think with the Zach Martin situation, I think there's no reason to fear. That's going to get taken care of, and it makes sense, right? You see these other guards around the league making 15 to 20 million, and he's just like, bro, I'm the best in the league. Let me get some of that. And Jerry will break him a piece off, but I do think behind the scenes that they're working the Micah deal right now, and that's what's next. Get that money out the way, and then go holler at Zach Martin. I don't think it's a rush with Zach Martin. Do you need him at training camp? No.
We need him. We need him now.
But we need him at practice. But I'm saying, does he really need to take those reps now?
He don't need to take. I don't know. I mean, at first I was saying no. Let's get a look at the young guys, and then I seen the young guys, and I'm like, hey, look, man, you might gotta just do what you gotta do to make him happy, man. We know what type of guy he is. I would love to get him back in the building, man, and I think everybody else can say the same. So. As far as that go, but Dak, man, look, he's been making it work with what he has in front of him, and he's been, on target, and that brings me to, like social media and the things that you see. Like, it seems like everybody is just pulling Dak's worst plays. Nobody want to talk about the good plays. Like, we seen him go crazy in the red zone the other day, 12 for 12. I ain't gonna say 12 for 12, but I mean, he was lighting them up left and right. It seemed like it, you know what I'm saying? But I think in general, you would think that he's the only quarterback in training camp right now. From the outside looking at, you would think the Cowboys are mainly the only team at training camp right now with how much talk they get, and is that by design or is it not? But I think for us, and the guys is really watching what's going on. Dak, he looks comfortable. He's in control. I think he's off to a hell of a start, man. So don't avoid all of that talk. Dak is doing what he's supposed to do. But
and he's talking shit while he's doing it.
So yeah, and it's crazy, man. Like, we talking about practice, and not only that, we talking about trash talking practice, man. It's crazy that we even got to have a discussion or to see him have to come out well, both guys, you know what I mean? Trayvon Diggs actually came out and he spoke of it like, look, man, Dak, that's my guy, man. That's my quarterback. That's how we talk. Stay out of our damn business. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Trey, like, yeah, tell him again. And Dak comes out and he kind of said the same thing. He like, man, I'm one of the best trash talkers on the team. He like, I start half of this stuff. If y'all heard what I said to Trayvon before that, hey, you know what I mean? Y'all would be surprised. So that's the type of environment they created. That's the type of competition that's in the building. And look, I love it. You know what I mean? Because hey, ain't no at the end of the day, it's no friends. But I think they all trying to see who's willing to go to battle with them. And I think all of those guys willing to go to battle for each other. But man, this is a healthy competition at the end of the day, man. What we talking about?
Before we switch over to the defensive side of the ball, I do want to point out I think the league passed a new rule that it's either teams must or they have the option to carry three QBs now because of what happened with the San Francisco playoff game.
Right.
So I won't be surprised if we do roll with Dak Rush and Will Greer this season.
Yeah, and Greer looks good, and Cooper Rush. I mean, I think the quarterbacks are set. It's probably the most confident I felt about a quarterback room in a while. We got some guys in there.
Will Greer ain't fooling me again, bro. You remember how good he was in training camp, and then the preseason was god awful
Oh
last
yeah,
year.
you're right.
He ain't fooling me.
But then at the same time, Cooper Rush didn't look as good to me in the preseason either, man. It was for a while there we thought Greer had the lead. And then, hey, look, I think Greer stunk it up so bad that when the season started, they said we can't put him out there. And look, what do you know? Cooper Rush, he did what he was supposed to do, man. But you know what I mean, today, you know what I mean, the defense actually they got some get back in, you know what I mean? They actually was some ass today, man. Guys was in the back, guys was in the backfield left and right. So I think let's start off first, man, but just talking about his defensive line and kind of what you see there. You know what I mean? Some of the guys you like him.
I see a shitload of depth on the defensive line, dude. Depth that we haven't had in a long time in this on this defense, man.
I don't think ever,
And
bro.
we got depth everywhere, really. Most of it is homegrown talent, man. It's exciting because I think with the addition of Amazi Smith, as well as bringing back Adante Fowler and all those boys, we can have fresh legs on that defense in that on that defensive line at all times, dude. Hankins will probably get the bulk of the work on running downs and on short down and distance. He's kind of our run stuffer. I think we're going to see a lot of Mozzie Smith though. Like I think we're going to see a lot of that.
He should get a lot of play. And it's crazy that you said what you said, like first down, second down. But you know, I seen a package today where they had Mozzie on the field, Hankins and Bohanna all at the same damn time. So Dan Quinn he's in the lab, you know what I mean, trying to figure it out, man. So we beefy. We got guys all around. But I think just speaking of Mozzie, I want to see a little bit more from him. You know what I mean? He is power. We see the clips of him with the strength. He's tossing guys, just in the third. But as far as like making plays on the ball, you know, me shedding, just to get off, I think it'll come with time. Obviously, he got to work on the technique a little bit. And hopefully he shows up in the preseason. But I won't give him the biggest praise right now. He got some work to do. But there's some other guys like Hankins. Oh man, Hankins is doing what he's supposed to do. Quinn Bohanna is stepping up. Gallimore, I stated before, you know what I mean, maybe he kind of goes somewhere else and finds his foot, and I don't think it'll be here.
No.
And like you said, we so deep, man. I remember having guys like Jeremy Mincy and Ty Crawford, and I don't think none of these guys will probably make the team at this point, man. So definitely a hell of a difference from what we got right now. And like you don't see guys just falling around. They making the offensive line look bad. I think I would be more worried if I mean the offense was doing it to the defense versus what we see right now. I think we kind of expect what we're seeing right now.
Hey man, and iron sharpens iron, man. So they got to get all that worked out and toughen up that offense as well. But the defensive line, man, that really excites me. Moving on to the defensive backs, though, man, I think it is without a doubt Daron Bland playing in the slot. I think he's kind of got that bagged up.
Yes,
He was kind of putting the clamps on CeeDee today, man. I like to see that. I saw the breakup in the end zone on the little out route over on the left side. That was a nice play. And I'm really impressed with Daron Bland as well, man. And then my second thought there, bro, Kelvin Joseph is not ready. That man is burnt. That man is burnt toast, bro.
He cooked, man. And it is crazy. That's why I love to see like these things as far as like when you finally get the pads on. You get to get a better look at it because all offseason we was hearing good things like, hey, look, man, he's switching positions. He looks better than we ever seen him.
Cap.
But if that's your best,
Cap.
bro, look, you gotta go, man. And I don't even know if special teams can save you at this point, man. He just looks like the confidence, what I thought he could kind of build on is just gone, man. He's getting cooked by everybody. I just see Tolbert give him work. Of course, CeeDee gonna give him work. like some of these younger guys, like Marino Cropper, Jalen Brooks, everybody is getting the best of them, no matter who he lines up against. And
Mm-hmm.
hey, look, man, if that's the case, man. Look, it is what it is. But yeah, Joseph, damn, man,
I I,
sad,
I do
sad.
want to point out too, Thomas, number 30, that you had mentioned in your notes, kind of stepping in for Donovan Wilson, as well as Izzy Man has kind of been holding it down, and that's exciting. Quick stat there.
Well, I think I want to say Izzy is out right now, but he should be returning soon. But yeah, we all know who Izzy is, though. Yeah.
Yeah, the this man had 37 solo tackles and 5 sacks his final year at Georgia Tech, man. So he is more of a box guy. One interception in every year of college, so he's not a ball hawk type of guy, but 37 solo tackles at safety, man, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that continues to pop, and you got to kind of question yourself, like, all right, now I'm gonna have to pay attention to you, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and that's all you ask for. With Donald going out, who can step up and who can make plays, and we got a lot of guys like that. Like, man, I like what he's doing. I like Tyler Cole, as well. I thought he had a strong camp last year, and then Marquise Bell. I think he can be Dono light, you know what I mean? And he's kind of the first guy I want to see kind of step into that role. But it's just something Dan Quinn does with these safeties, though. But yeah, shout out to Wanye, man. Strong camp so far.
The most exciting thing for me in this conversation today, man, is this linebacker room, because I've had a lot of questions there, man. I think it's obvious that LVE is our alpha in that linebacker room. He's our guy. But man, Jabril Cox in coverage is all the hype right now. And we were kind of wondering how that would play out. So I can see him being on, like, those third and longs. I don't see him being in there as much on running downs. I need to see how he is playing the run. I know he sniped out Deuce Vaughn on a run to the right side today,
I was
but
about to say, man, weak side. Hey, look, I'll leave him in there on rundowns if I have to. But we like to play that, that nickel base. So you might be right. He might not
that's what
be on the early downs too much.
I think, that we'll see a lot of Jabril Cox in our nickel package as well. Demario Overshown as well. They said is killing it in pass coverage as well, but they did say Jabril's putting the clamps on the running backs when they come out the backfield.
He's different, man. He's different. And this is what we wanted to see, man.
Yes.
I got injected into my veins, man. I get kind of juiced up thinking about Jabril Cox and his potential, man. Hopefully he continues in the preseason, man.
I know you also get juiced up about Damone Clark. Talk to me a bit about that.
Like, one of my favorite guys on the team, I think, in general, man, and his story. And just to see a guy like that now, finally getting that training camp ahead of him, getting his full off season. We all know the potential, but man, he looks bigger. And it looks like he's not thinking as much. You know what I mean? Dan Quinn got these guys playing fast,
Mm-hmm.
and you got an instinctive guy already, just kind of already knowing where he's supposed to be. He looks like he's right next in line to kind of be that quarterback. You know what I mean? You got Curse, who wears the green dot. I think next in line will be LVE. And then, of course, DeMar Clark, I think he's learning the position. He's learning every position on his defense. That's the crazy part. Man, I think he's going to be special. And I don't even know if you can call it a breakout year, because did he really get the 4 year he needed? But, man, I think right away he's going to be a star. I do think he'll be a star this year.
I like it. I like it a lot. Is there anything else you want to hit offensively or defensively before I move on to this kicking battle?
Defensively, I just give a shout out to Nashawn Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, I spoke on before. I expect high things from him. He just continue to make plays. And he's battling. That's all you can ask for. No matter who he's on, he get burnt, but he get right back up. You see him with another interception today. He's fighting out there, and I like what I see out of him. And also another promising guy, Eric Scott. He continues to do what he does best, and that's just show up and fight, man. And it doesn't matter. Same can be said for him. I've seen good reps a lot from him as well. But I think for the most part, I think we hit on most guys. Sam Williams, he should be gearing up soon, getting close. We got a school Micah sighting today. We seen him kind of training. He finally put the pads on, so maybe we can expect something from him soon.
Sticking at tight end real quick, I did see today that Jake Ferguson stood Micah up twice.
I seen that.
Now, hear me out, though. It is training camp. We just put the pads on. Is Jake Ferguson that dude blocking? Maybe, but we'll find out more, of course, in the preseason. But that is promising, because we are very unaware of his ability to run block.
I just think it got overshadowed for real. Like, I don't know why people thought Dalton Schultz was ever a better blocker than Jake Ferguson, but I don't think that was never the case. So I think he has some ability there. But hey, look, Jake gonna be a dude, and I think Schumacher, when he get in there, I'm really excited to see him, man. Once he get out there and start blocking and moving guys around. So tight end room is fun. Peyton Hendershot, he's making some plays. You got some younger guys, Princeton Font. You know, what I mean, little highlight clips here and there. They doing good things over there. So that room is building out nice. I say that.
I think no, Fergie is the real baby Gronk, in my opinion. I do want to ask you though about this kicking position. So Vizcaino, 18 for 24 the last 3 days, and Aubrey 19 for 24. Why are we only kicking the ball 7 times a day, bro? Like, you need to figure this out, and you need to figure it out now. And at the same time, are you that convinced we should have moved off of Brett Maher?
I don't know. I kind of mentioned that to you before. I was like, Meyer had a bad end to the year, but could
He
we
kind of
still
held
have,
it down.
could we still have gave him another shot to come in here and battle? You know what I mean? But to be truthful, I don't know if both guys have even done enough to kind of clear the Cowboys like thoughts there as far as like attacking us again. This is something to watch in the offseason. If a guy get cut, you know, like Nick Falk or any one of these veteran guys come along, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cowboys kind of dip back into that position once again.
I do think where we stand today, after today's training camp and the news that we've gotten so far, my biggest question / concern is the kicking position for this team right now, because those points, those missed PATs, those missed field goals are going to add up, man, and we got to get that tightened up.
Yeah, we can't have it. You know what I mean? I got PTSD from the playoffs, man. And listen, it seems like we've been doing this year after year after year. You know what I mean? We just gotta finally get that guy. How nice was it to have a Dan Bailey back
Yeah,
when Dan
man.
Bailey was that dude? Like, I don't think I ever worried about a damn kick. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can get back to that soon. Hey, do we got to draft one next year? I don't know, but hopefully we can find a guy.